Welcome to the weekend preview here for Los Alamitos Race Course. I'm your host, Jose Contreras, now joined by the voice of Los Alamitos, Mike Corona. It has been an overcast, wet, rainy type of day throughout Southern California, so I'm donning my best Burgard's cap and my soft shell jacket from the Los Alamitos gift shop. So I'm bundled up, Michael, but good to see you. Good to have you back here on the show. By the way, tip of the cap to you. Expensive, look impressive last week.
Yeah, that was really a very dominant win, wasn't it? The favourite was in some early trouble from that middle gate in the field of 9, and Expensive capitalised, did everything right and stormed away, put up a very big margin. And I think that makes it 3 wins and a second from the last 4 weeks. So we're on a nice little roll at the moment.
Yeah, we're in a good roll here with the show, without a doubt. And that gave us flashback of his brother, Eye in the Sky, when he was impressive in debut win. I think Eye in the Sky won it by 3.5 lengths. And I think I'll go back and check out the chart, but I think Expensive looked like more like 2 and something, right?
Yeah, it looked about 2.5 to me. The time didn't come back quite as fast as either of us thought it would, looking at how impressive visually the performance was. But no doubt the horse is going places. Definitely has a bright future.
Yeah, one of the part owners there, Mark, I believe Mr. Winslow stopped by, and I said, don't dwell on the time, because he came back. He's like, I thought the time was going to be faster. I was like, same to me, but I think visually he passed all the visual aspects, so they've got a runner on their hands. And I just think deeper into the night, sometimes, some of that moisture from the ocean comes in, and just, the air gets a little bit thicker, so the time might not reflect what it could have been. But I think they got a very, very nice future with that runner.
Yes, probably pointing now to a trial of the Edberg Million Futurity.
Yes, we're recording this on Thursday, May 4th, which we're just 1 day away from the Kentucky Oaks, 2 days away from the Kentucky Derby. So May 4th, the trials for the Edberg Million will be on May 28th. So we're about 24 days away from those trials. And a lot of these 2-year-olds that we saw last week and that we're going to see this week here are going to be pointing towards those trials. So let's talk about this week's card. We do have, on Saturday night, we do have 10 races. And we have a total of, is it 5, Michael? I believe 5 2-year-old races, right?
I lost count.
Yes.
But I'm not sure, mate. But there are quite a good representation of 2-year-olds again this weekend. Yeah. Yeah,
you can see a lot of them. If you get the Nightlines Past Performances, which is the official Los Alamitos PPs, you can get them at losalamitos.com or on track in the Nightlines program. You can see these icons represent what a lot of the 2-year-olds are paid into. So Golden State Million, there's a money sign means the 2 million. So a lot of these runners, you can kind of see what the connections have paid them into as far as trials down the line. And maybe that's an indication as a handicapper of how strongly some of these connections feel about some of these 2-year-olds. So that is part of the Nightlines PPs. But we're going to focus on race number 6. Race number 6 is kind of the middle race. It's not the late pick 4, not the early pick 4, not the late pick 4, but it's part of the pick 6. And I know you like the looks of the runner on the outside.
Market Analyst is another well-named offspring from the broodmare Bartiramo. This horse, Market Analyst, is a half-sister to Mornings with Maria,
yes,
who was so impressive in her 2-year-old season last year at Los Alamitos. She, in fact, was the second fastest qualifier to the Kindergarten Futurity. She was precocious. She was talented. She came to hand early. Mornings with Maria is by separate interest. This filly is by favourite cartel, but they're out of the same dam. Oddly enough, it took Mornings with Maria quite a long time to get around to winning a race. It was quite absurd given how many good performances she put up, including being the second fastest kindergarten qualifier. The maiden win actually came in a trial to the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity, and she outdueled Valiantli on that occasion, the horse that had won the kindergarten. So Mornings with Maria had a fantastic 2-year-old season, and I like the improvement for Market Analyst from the first gate work on April 8 to the second gate work, which we'll show you now, coming on April 22nd.
Yeah, that was not only a visual improvement in time, but obviously a visual improvement in the way she did things. And we're going to take a look at this workout. Market Analyst was on the outside, I believe, this workout. Yes,
wearing blinkers, wore blinkers in both of the workouts, as a matter of fact.
And there it is, outside of his team set.
Yeah, she kept quite a straight path. and it was a solid piece of work with a nice gallop out to follow. She returned a time of 12.4, which was the second fastest of 10 drills that morning, and did it very nicely, and was continuing to show a lot of interest right around toward the back stretch.
I like how professional she was keeping a straight path. I like that. And also like that she kind of accelerated once the wire came up. She wanted to go by that workmate and put it away. So a lot of things to like, I thought, about that workout for Mark and Alice.
Yes. Now, the morning line favorite, Jose, has a 12 flat gate work. We don't see many morning drills as fast as what Connie's Dynasty put up last time with that bullet work. It certainly jumps off the page. I had a look at it, and of course all of the gate works are available for free, as well as all the race replays at losalamitos.com. The thing that just bothers me a little is that despite how fast the work was, Connie's Dynasty did shift inwards fairly noticeably in the first few strides. You just can't afford to do anything wrong, can you? And we have got the favourite in gate 2. The co-second choice has the rail. I kind of like where I'm sitting out there in gate number 7 at 7-2. And I like how straight Market Analyst was in both of the morning works. And again, seems to be trending in the right direction. Looks to be improving. Connie's Dynasty obviously can win the race. Very, very talented. But again, I just was a little worried about the first few strides of that bullet drill.
And you know what? While I have some time, I'm going to bring it right up here. I'll bring it up real quickly here so we can compare. And this is Connie's Dynasty on April 18th. And she was on the inside of this two-team set.
Yeah, she just shifts in several paths there.
Yep.
And you know, that's not something that she can replicate coming into the heat of battle on Saturday night.
No,
despite how quick and talented she obviously is.
Yes, and that might be minimal, but in a quarter horse start in a race, that can cost you the entire race. We've seen that happen before. As a matter of fact, last week, at the start of the late pick 4 sequence, there was a Heat Taylor trainee that opened up at 1-5, and I singled against that runner with the outside runner. I forget the name. It was a much lower workout. But to me, it was more about how the horses behaved in the mornings, even though the Heat Taylor trainee showed a bullet workout, opened up at 1-5. There was a mistake made to me in the workout that I thought could cost that runner, and that's what ended up happening last Sunday night. It was the first leg of the pick 4, late pick 4, and the other runner was on the outside. I think it was a Jose Flores trainee. The name's escaping, but just because of that tiny mistake that I saw in the morning work, I thought it was a play against, and ended up coming true to fruition. We catch a nice winner at the start of the late pick 4. But that, what you showed us right there, that moving inwards could be the entire race of losing or winning. Now that horse might end up being the most talented maiden down the road, but a night like this, if you make that mistake, your race could be over.
Yes, and again, you've got another well-fancied horse drawn inside the favourite.
Yes,
they have gates 1 and 2. So I just thought it might be worth taking a shot with a horse drawn out wider, who seems pretty professional as far as unraced juveniles are concerned. Professor G, I was looking through his always interesting and information-packed notepads on the gateworks, and he loves a quip, doesn't he, Orlando?
Yes, he does.
He said regarding Market Analyst that after having watched the work, he was quite bullish on Market Analyst. So I'm with Orlando here.
That's why they call him Professor G. That's why they call him the Professor. Professor G. Always coming in with the puns there. And in Professor G's workout analysis, which you can read at losalamitos.com. But if you got a copy of the Nightlines, if you purchase it while you're on track, you'll also get it there. And so that's race number 6. And Mike Corona is going with Market Analyst. Mike, you've been on a good roll the last few weeks. I believe, 3 winners and a second in the last 4?
Yeah, that's right. Last week was my first try picking a 2-year-old. So we'll stick with the juveniles again this week and hope for the best.
That should be good. Have you fancied yourself about looking at the Derby field? Any thoughts on the Kentucky Derby?
No, not anything I've solidified, mate. I just haven't made a final decision yet.
Yes, I'm kind of still running. As a matter of fact, I have the fresh PPs here printed out for Derby card, so I'll be diving in. I do like Angel of Empire for Brad Cox. We just got word that Practical Move, the winner of the San Diego Derby and the Los Angeles Futurity, is out. He's out of the Derby. He won't be competing.
I did not know that. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, I believe there was a temperature spike this morning, or at least that's what I caught word of. But yeah, it seemed like he's fine from an interview that I saw from Tim Yakin. But they're playing this out of caution as far as I don't think they were happy with the temperature and the way he attacked his feet tub. So he is out of the Kentucky Derby. But I think there's another one or two more scratches, which that bumps up Mandarin Hero, the other Japanese horse who just narrowly missed by a nose in the San Diego Derby. He's in now. So another Japanese contender will be in the Derby. So it's the field is still up in the air as we're recording here on Thursday.
Yeah, well, the Japanese have won just about everything else around the globe at this point. And they're knocking on the door for a rich American classic race. So maybe it's coming. Yeah,
for sure. That's going to be a fun one. And by the way, if you're still looking at a place to enjoy your Kentucky Oaks or Kentucky Derby cards, you can come out to Los Alamitos, the Vessels Club, Burgarts. The grandstand will be open for our simulcasting bright and early on both of the big days here this Friday and Saturday. Okay, Michael, thank you for market analyst. Let's see if we can go back to back with the 2-year-olds here on the quarter horses.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Our first Futurity of the year will take place on Sunday, May 14th. It's the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, and what a terrific group of young stars will be in action. Headed by fastest qualifier Racy Sweet Corona, he'll look to give his connections a record number of kindergarten wins. Plus 4 sharp stablemates led by Think Again Kev will look to upset the top qualifier. It's a great field of juveniles. The Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a Pick 6 carryover or the $10,000 Pick 6 promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 Pick 6. A great bet, a great deal. Big-time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
Burns Ranch is proud to welcome two-time AQHA champion Golden Boy. He joins multiple stakes winner MP Shining, whose first crop are yearlings, and California champion Middle Error, with foals arriving this year. Proven stallions include Separate Interest, off to a good start in 23.
Delight Interest trying to fend him off. Delight Interest comes through on the clock.
And Fly Through the Fire, a top 3 ranked second crop sire. Let Burns Ranch put you in the game.
That's right. We're already counting down for the Kindergarten Futurity in just a few short weeks. And that's before we get into some of the 2-year-olds that are now pointing to the Ed Burke Milling Trials. So welcome back to the program. Now joined by Christopher Wade. Chris, welcome back to the show. We got a jam-packed 3-year-old card, 5 races for the 2-year-olds. We previewed one of those with Mike Corona. But then race number 10 is the running of the La Pacifica. And I think this is a tremendous field assembled as far as the competitiveness of this field. I think there's a number of ways to go.
Yeah, that race is just a wide open affair. In fact, I got my preview show selection here this evening in Valiantli there for Monte Rosa. And in fact, my price play is going to be in that affair for the Nightline program holders. Midnight Flash got to look at the outcome, shortening up in distance to probably her best distance at 330 to 350. It's going 350, La Pacifica.
Yeah, La Pacifica, purse of 35,000 for the 350 yards for the fillies, 3-year-olds. And what's interesting about this field, not only do you have runners in good form, but you have runners that are in trouble trips and runners that are making their first start off a bit of layoffs. And I'll give you the rundown of the field. Top field there, field of 10, full gate, Quirky Vintage, the 10 horse, just got defeated as the betting favorite in the Los Alamitos Oaks. She did broke slow and got bumped, but I didn't think it was that bad of a bump for her to run that flat of an effort. So I don't know what to expect of her, Chris, this night, but I know if she runs back to the race 2 starts ago, she fits this field.
Yeah, if she runs back like that for 2 races back, she's very, very difficult to deny. But like you said, she did have some trouble in that start, no doubt about it, but not as much trouble to run the way she did. She was last in that affair. She was kind of flat throughout, as you noted. But if she runs her race, she's got a big look at the outcome in the La Pacifica.
All right, so let's focus on the runner you like in the spot, Valiantli, who's making her first start as a 3-year-old. So she hasn't been seen since racing in the PC Creator British Futurity. And by the way, I have this replay here queued up for the PC Creator British Futurity. That was back on October 2nd, so that was a while ago. But in this race, Chris, she did go off as a 2-to-1 favorite in this spot, and she had the outside post.
Yeah, she didn't break all that well. It's kind of slow in the stride and kind of drift out early when the early part of the track was running well that particular evening. But she leveled out strongly late and was flying very, very well, moving very well late, nearing the wire. And that was her last race. Been like 216 days since that affair. So bigger, better, faster, older, more mature runner now as a 3-year-old. Come back with a very impressive workout in the morning. It was a solo drill and very impressive. So I think you got a big look at the outcome for Monte Rosa's numbers are very, very good off of returning runners.
Yeah, you can see she's finding her best stride late. She was kind of leaning in through the early part of the race, so that kind of was a little bit difficult to ride, but she got rolling a little bit too late. Now she's been given some time off since then. That was back on October 2nd. She gets LASIK added for the first time. She's coming in with a new a workout here, and we'll show the workout here, Chris. But I know you like this workout.
Yeah, she had a back bobbled away from the gate, but showed some solid speed and was moving strongly on her own throughout. Never asked to run a step and had run left to give and galloped out very, very well. I gave it a solid A. And the connections are very, very good off respite runners coming off layoffs. We're talking about, I'd say about 18% off the layoff. And the jockey trainer combo sitting like 28%. So some quality connections for a returning runner as a big look at the outcome.
She galloped out nicely under an easy hold. The rider was not really asking for everything there. You can tell she was a little bit of a not a significant stumble, but a little bit of a bobble moving inwards. Nothing, horrible. But I thought she was very game in that work, kind of accelerating through the motions. The rider wasn't asking for the best. So to me, visually, it looks like she's ready to go off the layoff. But what a tough field she landed here, right, in this year's Pacifica.
Yeah, it's a quality field. You got some horses that have been having some trouble. If they get away clean, they got to look at the outcome. Like I said, Midnight Flash got to look. If quirky bit to the outside runs her race prior, she's got a big look there as well. And you got some long shots in there with some trouble. Jessica Cruz upset the apple cart last time and earned a pretty good figure. And there for Lena Andrade and company, they have a look there as well. So it's a wide open affair closing out the Saturday evening program.
Yeah, Jessica Cruz upset the boys in the James Smith there. And the key about her is that she has a lot of ones in her form. She tends to break well. She likes to show speed, so she's always dangerous. It's a good field. Remember, her was very game-winning, Dashing Folly. He always tends to break fairly well as well with good gate speed. She draws gate 7. Forever Dynasty just starts to go defeated, remember her, in that stakes event back on March 11th. So there's a number of ways to go in this spot. I'm probably going to have to spread personally in the pick board, Chris, to feel somewhat safe in this race.
Yeah, you're talking 3, 4, 5 deep because it's a closely matched affair. You could come up with a long shot there with some one trouble horse to get away clean and run a straight run. It's going to be a very, very closely matched affair closing it out. I'm going to slight edge to Valiantly there in the finale.
All right, if you've been watching the Los Alamitos simulcast signal there live from Los Al, you have seen Chris wear this hat. I kept my Burgart's hat. I stole it from him. And you've been seeing him hanging out at Burgart's. And also, the Vessels Club is right in his background. So if you want to go enjoy the Kentucky Oaks card and the Kentucky Derby card, you can do so at Burgart's and the Vessels Club and the main grandstand at Los Alamitos. We're recording this on Thursday, so you still got time. Call up the Vessels Club, losalamitos.com for all your info, so you can try to reserve a spot and a table for you to enjoy the festivities. As far as your handicapping for out-of-state signals, Chris, and the Nightlines, I know Sam Houston and I believe Remington are running day cards to coincide with the festivities of the Kentucky Derby. So I know you won't be tackling those signals, but what about some other signals?
Yeah, well, we'll be taking races 4 through 8 at Delta down, so it's a regular overnight card because they've had lots of trials this weekend thus far for the Lassie and the Laddie Futurities. So we'll be having a regular card races 4 through 8 on a Saturday evening.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Best of luck with Valiantli. Let's see if we can get a winner in the La Pacifica.
All right, boys, you have a good night.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Our first futurity of the year will take place on Sunday, May 14th. It's the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, and what a terrific group of young stars will be in action, headed by fastest qualifier Racy Sweet Corona. He'll look to give his connections a record number of kindergarten wins, plus 4 sharp stablemates led by Think Again Kev will look to upset the top qualifier. It's a great field of juveniles. The Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 pick six. A great bet, a great deal. Big time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
Burns Ranch is proud to welcome 2-time AQHA champion Golden Boy. He joins multiple stakes winner MP Shining, whose first crop are yearling, and California champion Middle Error, with foals arriving this year. Proven stallions include Separate Interest, off to a good start in 23.
Delight Interest trying to fend him off. Delight Interest comes through in the clutch.
And Fly Through the Fire, a top 3 ranked second crop sire. Let Burns Ranch put you in the game.
So as of this recording, Professor, we're about 10 days away from the Kindergarten Futurity, the first major futurity of the season here at Los Alamitos. Welcome back to the program. Professor, first of all, last week, a lot of people were trying to get this hat. Giveaway happened at Burghart's. Tell us a little bit about the festivities down there.
It was a lot of fun, Jose. We had a lot of new people that showed up at Burghart's, enjoyed the entire atmosphere, enjoyed the races. A lot of them had never been to the racetrack before, so they actually got a chance to kind of sit around and enjoy the bar atmosphere there. Then they went up to the patio at Burghart's, and of course the patio has a terrific view of the finish line. So they had a chance to catch a couple of races there, and then they went on and enjoy the paddock, the winner's circle, got a closer look at the horses in action, in the flesh, live and in color. So a good crowd. And of course, we have some karaoke going on towards the end of the night, and a bunch of really good singers. And I think it's something that we might want to do on a regular basis here at Los Alamitos. Stay tuned. Hopefully, we have some news on that front in the coming weeks. But all in all, a really fun night. I had a lot of laughs out there. I didn't get the courage, Jose. I did not get the courage to go up there and sing. Maybe in the future. You know, I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't prepared.
I was just about to push you there. I was like, Professor, did you get on the mic? You man, you should have got on the mic there and done a little set.
You know, I would have probably battled for the top 3 worst singers of the night, possibly. I decided, okay, let me save it for next time. You know, I gotta pump that up a little bit more. You know, do some marketing on my singing abilities, but don't expect too much.
And on the handicapping end, do you know what was the score that needed to win that handicapping contest that you were having out there?
4 wins. 4 winners out of the 7 races in the contest took the top money. And again, we had a lot of people that were just coming out to visit. You know, maybe they have seen us on TVG, but had never been there at Los Alamitos or at Burghart's. So some first timers, some newcomers. Great to see, and a lot of people wearing the hat. They really liked it. So we're very fortunate that it went well. Everything went well, and looking forward to having more events at Burghart's and even Burghart's hats here on this show, Jose, and also on the TVG set.
Yes, so thank you for all the new fans and the people that supported the Burghart's festivities last Saturday night and came out and watched some live racing at Los Al. And speaking of live racing and coming out, Professor, we're recording on Thursday. It's almost Kentucky Oaks Friday. It's almost Kentucky Derby Saturday. Can people still find a seat there at Burghart's and at the Vessels Club?
Absolutely, but you better call fast because spaces are filling up. We've been very, very busy. The phone lines have been ringing nonstop Jose, people want to reserve their tables at Burghards, reserve their tables in the Vessels Club, but we're always going to make some room for our great fans here at Los Alamitos. But call right away, 714-820-2800. Make your table reservations to the Vessels Club or Burghards. It's going to be a great day of simulcasting. Kind of upsetting that we got some news earlier today that Practical Move, the horse that won the Los Alamitos Futurity, from what I've read, spiked a bit of a temperature, so will not run in the Kentucky Derby. Will save himself for a future race. There's so many great ones throughout the year. We'll see if maybe we see him in the Preakness, maybe later down the line. But looking forward to what should be a very competitive Kentucky Derby. Again, if you want to reserve your table, 714-820-2800. And Jose, a lot of our fans are going to be watching us on Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
On this show. I hope you guys, your tequila ready, because you told me
yes.
that's every once in a while I like to have a nice little shot of tequila.
Yeah, I checked the pantry, Professor. We got some Cazadores Añejo left over. So that sounds like a perfect way to spice up some margaritas on the Cinco de Mayo weekend. Speaking about Cinco de Mayo, we got 5 races for the two-year-olds. That means 5 races for the two-year-olds on Saturday night, Professor. The entry box there is filling up as we expect a lot of these two-year-olds, Professor, to wheel back in the Ed Burke milling trials coming up at the end of May. Mike Corona was able to join us and preview race number 6. Why don't we preview some of the workouts for the other races here, starting with race number 5?
Race number 5, absolutely. Lindolfo Diaz is going to have some pretty nice runners in action here on Saturday night. In the feature race of the night is, of course, the La Pacifica Handicap, and he's going to have a horse, a filly by the name of Midnight Flash in there, one that ran pretty solidly in the Los Alamitos Oaks, finishing third in that race. But before that, in race 5, he's got a really nice-looking 2-year-old by the name of Next Level Up, the number 4 horse. And the interesting thing is the last workout was a 12-3 work, right? Before that, it was a 12-flat work. So probably from that first work, he knew already, man, I got a pretty good one in here going 12-flat. Because let's watch this work. The jockey didn't ask much from Next Level Up. They just wanted him to get that extra experience, getting ready to go 300 yards, because remember, they need 2 works in order to run 300 yards. And there we see Next Level Up from the inside at KVN Corona Colt. Ended up with the 3rd fastest of 37 works here. And look how nicely he goes 12-2 against a pretty nice runner by the name of Check-in Cartel, who went 12-5 here. But from what you see there, Next Level Up breaks sharply, full of run right away. I mean, immediately. But a little bit of a hustling right early on. But from there, a stranglehold as they got closer to the wire. And you can see that the horse had done enough. No need to really push him too hard. Hustling him later, early, but at the end, on the wraps.
Yeah, that was a very good gate acceleration there from Next Level Up. And you can see the rider didn't rest for much and then immediately wrapped up once they approached the finish line. So that's going to be the morning line favorite, even money on that race number 5. In gate number 4. How about gate number 6? Change Happens. We have the workout for Change Happens. And Change Happens also was on the inside of this 2-team set.
On the inside, and part of a really good work against Kicking Famous. We'll see Kicking Famous also on Saturday. Change Happens. No blinkers here on this drill. Took a little bit of a hop, leaving the gate and got brushed. I thought it got brushed. I don't know, bumped, brushed, or something, because he kind of went to the inside during that action. But from there, pretty good acceleration. And like we mentioned, Kicking Famous went 12-2. So overall, a pretty good recovery there from Change Happens. Doing enough for me that I'm gonna give him a shot to win race number 5, like the 4-1 price. And of course, everybody's gonna be focused in on Next Level Up. I'll give the 6 a little bit of a chance. Remember, this will kick off our pick 6 wager here on Saturday night.
Yeah, so you can see that's going to be a big time favorite. Next Level Up. We saw also Change Happens. And actually, I went 4.36. So I gave Apolitical Open a look here. That 1250 workout, I thought he did it on fairly easily. I like the pedigree on that one. Jaime Gomez trainees have been firing well this season. So maybe a look here at Apolitical Open at 8-1. Earlier on this program, we saw Macarona for race number 6. We talked about a few of the workouts for the contenders in race number 6 with Connie's Dynasty and Market Analyst. And going over to race, by the way, Market Analyst, Macarona said he liked your Professor G notebook, saying you were bullish on Market Analyst. Well played, Professor. Well played.
Yeah.
All right, race number 7.
I thought the horse had a pretty nice work.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was. You were bullish there, Market Analyst. I see what you did there. Race number 7, we got a couple of workers that caught my eye. First of all, we'll focus on Ready For It. Ready For It in gate number 5. This one by Favorite Cartel out of Up For It. So this one is from the family of Up and Atom. And this one, it was a graduate of the Los Alamitos Equine Sale for $162,000, which would put him right at the top of the list of some of the most higher sale prices at the equine sale, right, Professor?
Yeah, Jose, and it's not so many really nice babies that Up For It has produced. She Goes Up as well, and we might see She Goes Up on Sunday night in the running of the Miss Princess Handicap. Up For Everything, another really nice runner out of the great Up For It. And let's look at Ready For It, working from the outside post here as part of a 3-horse set that also included Jesse's Girl. And Ready For It broke in, but settled into a nice stride, pulled ahead of his rivals. So around the midway point, going under a hand right there, maintain a pretty strong stride on that outside position, and finish ahead by Daylight. And he was still hustled by the rider there at the end. Good, solid work overall. Good looking gallop out from Ready For It. And there wasn't a lot of runners that worked this morning. This ended up being the top time from 10 works on April 22nd.
What I like about that workout, Professor, was the amount of ground he was covering with those strides. Like he was covering a lot more ground, and it looked to be doing it without a lot of effort. So I like his stride. I like the way he was covering ground. Well bred, good work. I like Ready For It there in race number 7. Another one that we're going to show here is going to be Kickin' Famous, which we already saw. Actually, we just saw because of the workout of Change Happens, right? But we'll show it again here. And now we'll focus on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the outside. Kicking Famous here on the outside. Change Happens on the inside.
Colorado bred, called by One Famous Eagle, fast out of the gate, broke in, and I still think that he brushed a little bit with Change Happens, but Kicking Famous took off from there under a pretty active ride by the jockey, continue powerfully through the lane to win the drill by a half length, and look, continues to show speed there during that gallop out, never let up, still working there, showing good energy, and moved nicely around the bend. Kicking Famous, a horse that should do fine from post number 7 here in race number 7.
What I like is that he never wanted to let the stablemate, the workmate, get away. He even through the turn, he wanted to keep on going and keep on pace there with the workmate. So that was a well bred runner, Kicking Famous, and good workout of 12:20. So those are 2 workouts to highlight: Ready For It and Kicking Famous. Race number 8 is 300 yards. We do have 2 experienced runners. We talk about something and one look at her. Let's look at a couple of runners towards the outside. How about She's So Tempting? Anytime we see So Tempting, Professor, we know there's some relation there, right? Because it brings of Ain't He Tempting and Ain't She Tempting. That's the family of She's So Tempting. They paid $190,000 for this Utah bred filly at the Heritage Place.
Yeah, this filly is actually a full sister to both of those runners that you mentioned on Ain't She Tempting. Remember, Ain't She Tempting won the Golden State Derby here last, what was it? Was it last year? Could have been last year.
Last year, last year.
In the Oklahoma Futurity prior to that. And, of course, Ain't He Tempting, a Greatest Stakes finalist here at Los Alamitos. And we're going to see She's So Tempting working from the inside post. And it's going to finish ahead of La Famosa Vaquera, 12-4, 12-6. quick out of the gate. Kind of went a little bit in, a little bit out, kind of skied a little bit, like Chris Wade likes to say. But once she floated back to the inside, she continued to kind of drift in, but still rolling in good form under a hand ride and finished a length ahead over company. And a solid gallop out there.
Yeah, also the gallop out was solid there. The years are up. She's kind of looking around. There's good energy in that workout, 1240. Good pedigree. A lot of things to like there about She's So Tempting, a full sister to those runners we mentioned, those greatest stakes types that we just mentioned. Another one to focus here is going to be In the Mode. In the Mode will be in gate 7. In the Mode was on the outside of this workout. And In the Mode was timed in 1250 here.
Yeah, 3-horse set here that includes race 7 participant, Mr. Mac. And In the Mode will break in, but in contention early on, floated out a little bit in the progress. Her progress came to a little bit of a halt there. The rider grabbed a hold of the reins just to kind of keep her from continuing to move out. Still maintain a pretty wide path. And the rider just kind of had a hold over pretty much the entire way from there. But wasn't too far away from the winner of the drill, Just Watcher. In the Mode, still showing some quickness even through that gallop out.
And that's the key that what you said, right? That's what I like about that work. That she didn't finish that far behind the winning horse, and she was being pretty much under a hold. Like she was still trying to make up ground while the rider was pretty much wrapping her up. So there's more to give for, I think, for In the Mode, who worked in 1250. It looked like she could have gone much faster if she kept a straight path. So that's a horse to watch. Maybe might not fire all out first time out, but maybe a horse to watch with more racing experience. We'll see what kind of odds she's going to be in race number 8. So one more race for the 2-year-olds on Saturday night, and it will be in race number 9. Race number 9, we're cutting back to 220 yards for these 2-year-olds. We have a couple of runners with racing experience, Just Being Famous, Just Feisty, and Throw Me a Number. Throw Me a Number probably will take money because of that 4th place finish 2 starts ago. But Luxury Brand worked in company on April 18th to my lock of the night last week, who won, and it was Favorite City, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Favorite City was the debut winner last week.
Yeah, Political Just Colt is out of a really, really nice mare, a nice runner by the name of Checkenback, who won the 2006 Governor's Cup Futurity. Every time I see that year, that to me was one of the greatest classes of 2-year-olds that we've ever had here at Los Alamitos. And for Checkenback to go ahead and be a futurity winner during that season tells you how good she really was. And they paid, like you mentioned, $210,000 for this runner at the Ruidoso yearling sale. And this horse has actually worked at a couple of different places, right? Worked at Remington Park, worked at Jerome, Idaho, and here at Los Alamitos from the outside post against a really sharp winner, Favorite City, going 12-3 versus 12-4. And we're going to see Luxury Brand using a flipping halter as well.
Yeah, you can see good break. Actually was in front by maybe half a length before Favorite City outfinished them, but I thought it was a good work as far as getting away from the gate and keeping a fairly straight path as well.
Yeah, and the one thing I said is lost some ground, but to a very impressive companion around the midway point there, but still stayed pretty close to that runner all the way to the finish line. Nice gallop out. And this runner, Luxury Brand, should do fine, just fine from the rail. We've seen so many winners from the rail by these 2-year-olds this season, so that has not been an issue at all. Sometimes you're like, oh, the rail for a baby, no. But no, that hasn't been the case this year. In fact, Favorite City won from the rail.
Mm-hmm. Favorite City did it from the rail. And we mentioned, Professor, a $210,000 purchase at the Ruidoso sale. And when you as good of a homebred operation Dunn Ranch has, they went out and paid six figures for this one. So that tells you they like this one very much. Pedigree's there by world champion Apolitical Just, who we know very well here from his campaign at Los Al. But also the damn Checkenback, you mentioned that terrific crop with that season. So that makes this colt a sibling to Flashback, right?
That's exactly right, Jose. A lot of whenever you see that name back, look back at either Running Back, who was a nice a mare that may have won I think it was the Millie Vessel, or checking back. So there's always some good connections there whenever you see the name back in there. But luxury brand Colt, you mentioned Dunn Ranch. They also have just a sprawling stallion roster there in Oklahoma. So luxury brand being a Colt, certainly some a prospect for a stallion in the future.
Yeah, he's a half brother to that multiple greatest stakes winner Flashback, who earned $1.2 million here, and we know him well from his running lines here at Los South. So those are the 5 2-year-old events for that. We'll start the Pick 6 at Los South, and we'll conclude with the La Pacifica. We previewed this race with Christopher Wade, Professor. He liked Valiantli off the layoff. A good workout on March 28th. I thought this race was very, very tough. I'm probably going to have to go 4 deep to feel somewhat covered in the pick 4, Professor. What do you think about this race?
I think on my ticket, I'm trying to remember now. Did I go 6? I may have gone 6 deep. Jose.
And you probably still don't feel safe going 6 deep.
Yeah, I did. On the ticket that I put out on our Nightlines program, I just kept saying, man, I got to include this horse. I got to include Valiantly. I got to include Midnight Flash. Jessica Cruz defeated Males in the King Smith. Remember Her just beat older mares. Forever Dynasty won a little stakes race here. And, of course, Quirky Biddy Jess, who struggled in the Los Alamitos Oaks, had a really rough race there. But before that, looked so good in the trials to the Los Alamitos Oaks. So from top to bottom, lots of nice runners here. Very, very competitive running of the La Pacifica Handicap. And next week, we'll have the Kindergarten Futurity in action. On Saturday, we'll have the winner of last year's Kindergarten Futurity in Valiantly in action.
Yeah, Valiantly won it in 2022, nearly 6-1. And if I remember correctly, Monteros had, I believe, 3 runners in that kindergarten final. Cruz Mendez got the third option, and he won it with that third option, and he did it from the outside post. Actually, now it came to me, Professor. So this is the one I talked myself out of. Remember, on the show, I said, this horse wants to draw from the outside, and she gets the outside. That's just the angle to use. What did I do? I think I jumped off of her on race night, Professor. So now it's coming back to me. You see, she won her trial from the outside in gate 8 in a field of 8. And I was like, you know what? She won from the outside. She's familiar from the outside. Why not? Well, shame on me, Professor. I think I used the other 2 Monties, and I left this one out.
Oh, the other Monty.
Yes.
The other Monty got you.
Yeah, the other price. And we've seen that trend. The other Sergio Morfin, I think, won a stakes the other night. The other Paul Jones, the bigger price, won a nice allowance, I believe, last week. It's been that kind of season for the other trainees.
Well, that's the way it goes, Jose. That's the way it goes. In fact, I got an email from a person that watches the show regularly, and they were saying, Jose always loves getting Gigi.
Yes, exactly.
What happened?
Yes, I jumped out. Jetty Gigi was a lock of the night. Thank you to the viewers, because, yes, they remember that.
They watch, pay attention, they take notes.
And guess what, Professor? I said, you know what? No mas. And she broke like a rocket last week and won impressively. She was long gone.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That was a pretty solid race as well. A lot of competitive runners in that one. I like the Monte Rosa horse, and that one ended up getting scratched from that race. Perfect play, but that's how it goes. You know, we're talking about the best quarter horses in the world here at Los Alamitos every single night. Lots of competitive runners. We're just talking about how deep and competitive this La Pacifica Handicap is. It's very rare that you see, stakes races here at Los Al. We just have an overwhelming favor. There's always going to be a couple that can strike at any moment.
And for viewers of the show, one horse that I'm not going to jump off, I'm still going to use one more time, Professor, just because the price is so juicy. One Sweet Duck. I can't give up on her. I cannot give up on One Sweet Duck out of Duck Dash and Go. She was a rocket ship out of the gate to begin her career. She's had trouble getting out lately. Second time flipping halter. I can't let her go at 20-1. She's going to be in my ticket.
It rained a little bit this morning, right?
It did,
Just a little bit here in Southern California. And, ducks like the water, Jose.
Yes. I like your analogy, Professor. I like your analogy. Okay, so who is your official top pick here for the Pacifica?
I'm gonna go with Remember Her, Jose, after what she did in the Dashing Folly, going wire to wire from an outside post. I think that she'll be pretty nicely drawn there in post number 7. And remember, Scott Willoughby, I asked her, is this the mare that you think, or the filly that you think will eventually might end up in the Mildred Vessels? And he said, well, we'll see what happens when those good mares come back after returning from the breeding shed. But I think she's talented enough. She just keeps getting better and better. So I'll go ahead and I'll give Remember Her a really nice look here in the La Pacifica.
I'll give you my top 4 here for the Super. I went 7, so we're in agreement to Remember Her. She's just so consistent out of the gate, Professor, and she beat Olders last time out. She looked sharp, just hard not to like her. So I'm going to go 7, 2, Valiantli, off the layoff, good workout, 1, Sweet Duck, and then 10, Quirky Bitty Jess. So 7, 2, 1, 10. That is my top 4 in order.
Okay, we agree, because I went 7, 2, Valiantli, and the 10, Quirky Bitty Jess.
Okay. So we're mixing the long shot, 1 Sweet Duck there, and a very competitive La Pacifica. Like Professor said, he thinks he went 6 deep in the pick 4. I think I'm gonna go at least 4 deep in that pick 4. It's a very good race, very very good race, and of course we'll be watching and keeping notes on these 2-year-olds because we might see them right back in the trials for the Edberg Million in about 3 weeks.
Absolutely, we'll have a couple of 2-year-old races on Sunday. From what I can see here, and we'll also have the running of the Miss Princess Handicap. That's a big time race, and some names we're expecting to see: Sweet Tess, the winner of the Los Alamitos Oaks from last year, the Heath Taylor Bobby Cox Connected Coalition, who's won stakes races here at Los Alamitos. We talked about She Goes Up. That's a mare that we might see in the Miss Princess as well. CIR Lady Moon, got a Corona Jess, who ran second in that race to Remember Her as well, and Lady Cartel, who's a stakes winner as well. So that's 6 possible starters in the Miss Princess Handicap on Sunday, and like I mentioned, a couple of races for the juveniles as well. So Sunday should be a really good card as well.
All right, thank you for that update. I'm going to scroll back to the top of the card to kind of see what our approximate post time is for Saturday night, 10 races. Approximate post time of 7:30, given all the daytime festivities, Professor. Speaking of daytime festivities, what time do you know what time the grandstand in LaSalle will open for simulcasting for both of the big days?
7 a.m. on both Oaks and Derby. And Burgers and the Vessels Club on Derby Day will both open at 7 a.m. at 9 a.m. on Friday for the Oaks. So you can come in early, get your bets in. There's also going to be future betting on the Derby on Friday. So if you want to take care of everything, bet the Oaks and the Derby, you can do that here on Cinco de Mayo at Los Alamitos and enjoy the racing action for wherever you might be on Saturday afternoon.
Sounds like a great spot to enjoy the festivities. Of course, lots of local connections. As far as the thoroughbred world, will be out there in Kentucky. All right, Professor, anything else to update the viewers on?
Well, we got to come up with some kind of a contest, Jose, so we can give away a couple of Burgars hats maybe next week as we talk about the kindergarten futurity. Let's come up with a contest that we can talk about on the show and connect it to the Kentucky Derby, and then we can give away the hats, announce the winners, the show after that.
All right. I'm thinking maybe what we've done in the past. We've done winner and final time.
The final time.
Yeah, maybe that could be.
Or the exacta,
the exacta.
Pick the exacta, whoever comes closest, right? You got to have the winner, and then whoever comes closest to hitting the exacta, and the tiebreaker, of course, will be the final time. Yeah,
that could be us. We'll marinate on what we want to do, Professor, and we'll announce it maybe next week on the show.
Perfect. So watch the show. If you want a hat, just like the one that Jose has, make sure you join us next week, and maybe we can just have them put their selection on the comments. Yeah, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. You can watch all the video on the YouTube page at losalamitos.com. You can drop in the comments as well. And, of course, the other social media channels as well. Professor, thank you for the update. Let's see if we can find some 2-year-olds to wager on this weekend, and exciting season here with the futurities coming up.
Absolutely. Just keep notes, keep track, because I'm sure you're going to be using it on the night of the Edberg Million Trials, Jose.
Shout out to the viewer. Shout out to the viewer who paid attention and knew getting Gigi from way back when. That shows commitment, Professor. Thank you to the viewers.
Absolutely, Jose. We got a lot of viewers that like to comment. They say a lot of great things about yourself, Chris Wade, Michael Rona, the entire team here at Los Alamitos, and they don't miss a show on TVG. So thank you so much for your continued support of the racing action here at Los Al.
Thank you, for sure. That's what we're here for. We're trying to provide some information and hopefully have a few fun winners along the way. All right, Professor, have a good night. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much, Jose. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Our first futurity of the year will take place on Sunday, May 14th. It's the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, and what a terrific group of young stars will be in action, headed by fastest qualifier Racy Sweet Corona. He'll look to give his connections a record number of kindergarten wins, plus 4 sharp stablemates led by Think Again Kev will look to upset the top qualifier. It's a great field of juveniles. The Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 pick six. A great bet, a great deal. Big time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
Burns Ranch is proud to welcome 2-time AQHA champion Golden Boy. He joins multiple stakes winner MP Shining, whose first crop are yearling, and California champion Middle Error, with foals arriving this year. Proven stallions include Separate Interest, off to a good start in 23.
Delight Interest trying to fend him off. Delight Interest comes through with the clutch.
And Fly Through the Fire, a top 3 ranked second crop sire. Let Burns Ranch put you in the game.